The drumming style on this album is really simple. Going into this, we wanted to have the song stripped down, so there wasn't a whole bunch of craziness going on, because what we wanted to do is we wanted to bring the drum sound up and we wanted to make it big. But you can't do that when there's just a whole heap of craziness going on within the song. You need the song to be simple and you need the drums to be solid. And when you've got that kind of backbone in a song, I mean, people can really feel that.
I think it's really cool. Like, his playing style to me is like where modern rock drumming is going. It's just, to me, it's just like it encompasses everything that's been built from, like, the early 80s, like Tommy Lee type stuff, up to, like, the more modern, I guess somewhat modern, like thrash bands. Like, so he's kind of, to me, like, Johnny's like the perfect mix between like a Tommy Lee and a Lars Ulrich, but actually he keeps time, so that's kind of cool.
On this record, we have all kinds of different songs. We've got, just straight up 4/4, half beat kind of stuff. We've got slow stuff, we've got everything down to 100 BPM. We've got acoustic songs, and we've even got one song on there that's 6/8 timing, and it's got a real sort of jazz swing feel vibe to it. So here we are in the studio with my D-drum kit. This is a Diablo series. We've got the 10, the 12, we've got a 14, we've got a 15, a 14 snare, and a 22 kick. We also have a 22 kick up here, mounted as a tom. I've got the Evans EC2 clears on the toms. I love these skins because they've got so much warmth and so much tone. They cut through the mix, and when you need them to be big and ballsy and heavy, that's exactly what they do. So that's why I'm using them. On the snare, I have the Evans G1. It's a one-ply skin. It's got great crack, it's got great tone. I'm also using the Evans skin on the bottom with brass snares. On the kick drum, I'm actually using an Aquarian, a Super Kick 2. Before we started the record, I did a lot of research on all the different skins, and that kick just stood out to me. It was just so fat, and like, I have nothing in my kick drum whatsoever. It's just the skin on the back. It's got the skin on the front still, but yeah, one kick drum inside one mic, inside the kick drum, and it doesn't even need that much EQ. That skin is just, it's killer. But besides that, I'm using the Peisty Alpha range cymbals. I have the 14 hats, the 16 crash, 18 crash, 20-inch full ride. Also, I'm using the Peisty PST8 splash cymbal, and also I've got a 18-inch China up here. And these cymbals are great, man. They're brilliant. They cut through the mix. They're not too loud. You can get some cymbals that are they ring a bit too much. These are just really nice, and they sound beautiful, and they got a bit of EQ on them, a bit of reverb. So for the hardware, everything up here is Gibraltar except for the rack. So we've got Gibraltar boom arms here, Gibraltar splash arm. Same over here, these are all Gibraltar. The double kick pedals I'm using are the Tama Speed Cobras. They're really fast pedals, and they're really smooth. You can set these things up in any way you want to. I mean, you can have beaters right back, forward. You can have as much or as less spring tension as you want to. You can have the pedal boards up as far as you want them, or down as far as you want them. And they got that Cobra coil on there that really helps. But yeah, so I guess I'll play for a bit and see how it sounds.
I remember having a conversation with Johnny over Skype. I'm like, you know, one of the things that I noticed about Johnny's sound is his snare drum sound. It's kind of a throwback in a cool way to a big fat snare drum. So many bands today, and I won't name them, but their snare drums and their drums in general just sound really small. And I think that Johnny's, you know, Johnny and I think a lot alike, and he's, you know, at the forefront of bringing back big drum sounds. And to me, that's fucking badass. You know, it's just like so many people. I mean, I understand the whole logic between shrinking down the sound a little bit, you know, so you can hear all the notes and everything's very articulate. But I also think that, you know, you don't have heavy without low end, and bigger drum sounds, you know, lend themselves to more low end and punchier low end. And I think Johnny, you know, again, this band seems to be on the cusp and on the forefront of doing a lot of things that a lot of people aren't doing, and they're melding it all together to make this beautiful thing. But for Johnny, the drum sounds to me, I just love the fatness. The snare drum is really special because there's nobody out there right now that's doing that has that sound. And so that's Johnny, and that's kick-ass.
Basically, the drum sound on this record, we just want it to, you know, punch you in the guts pretty much. We want you to be able to feel it. We want to bring back that big 80s drum sound that I think music lacks these days. I mean, like Will said, you understand the point of making the drums thinner and everything like that, so everything's more articulate and, you know, everything fits better. But personally, to me, when I go and see a live gig, the first thing I hear and feel is those drums, and I want to try and put that across on a record. I want people to put this CD on, and when they do, the drums come in and they feel it, and, you know, it gets them going. Working with Will was great because he brought a lot of great ideas to the table. We were basically working on Skype, and I sent him all the songs via email. I sent him about 10 of our demos, and he sat down with them and he listened to them, and he wrote down all his notes, and when we got back on, he showed me everything he had. And
yeah, Skype, the whole Skype thing is interesting because, you know, you never, you know, starting out with Johnny and kind of doing some stuff with him, it's just like, you know, I didn't know how it was going to transcend. You know, you're not in a room, you don't have the volume, you know, you can't, it's really hard to deliver, you know, intensity across Skype. And, you know, I'm in Orlando, Florida, and he's in Australia. So it's like, you almost couldn't be farther apart, but amazingly, it worked out great, I thought. You know, we had a really good time, and I mean, I didn't really have much to say to Johnny about the parts. I mean, he already brought them to a certain level, but you know, for me, it was just more about kind of like adding a little more fire in spots, like where can you hot rod certain things and take them to where, you know, they have an oh shit factor, so that when you do it, that it really makes people's mouths drop, like they notice it, you know, because Johnny's the kind of guy that he could play so much cool shit all over the place, but it's about being selective, you know, you don't want to blow your wad, so to speak. And I think that's the biggest thing that, you know, I think maybe I was able to help Johnny with, but although he was about 95% there anyway.